Thanks to green screens and computer-generated imagery, special effects are more amazing than they've ever been before. The Matrix is just one of the many examples of a movie that's just overwhelmed with special effects like Avatar here, making an entire planet, another world come to life. It's nice to see the way we do these things nowadays. It's just a really interesting uh, way of putting a world within a world. And I'm going to show you some examples of this, and there are millions of examples nowadays. But this is a nice one where we take this kind of urban um, wasteland here, and we change it with green screen so that this gentleman on a horse is now going into a futuristic city where the traffic is all post-apocalyptic and dead, and the high rises loom in the background, and it's more inventive and fascinating than the urban destruction that was shot in. Here we've got a soccer field, nice bunch of guys out there playing, but we can, with green screen, the big green screen in the background, transform it into a huge audience of people watching the game. This is an interesting one too. Here we've got somebody who's driving into a gated wilderness, but they want to change it into a mansion, so we have the green screen and everything, and we drop in the mansion in the background now. So we take the wilderness out, put the mansion in. Here's an example where we're on a street that's kind of like that other urban decay we just looked at. It's an abandoned part of the city, but we're going to make it come to life when we block out the sun with our solids, we put a little green screen up, and then we drop in a building and it makes it look like it's a busy street with a cafe, and we can just put the frontispiece of this building. We don't have to put any background into it. So we can just have this flat and then the green screen and change the whole neighborhood. Here we can chase somebody trying to get an interview, and she can be superimposed against the background of a street, and we don't have to try to get the locations permit. We can do it very cheaply. Here we've got a building that we don't want to distress or destroy, so we put a green screen in front of it, and then we put the destruction that the set decorators and the set dressers do, and we can make this again look like a post-apocalyptic setting. Here we have two women who are ready to say their lines on a boat, and we're wondering what's going on here. Well, they got the boat, it's not really moving anything, but we can then superimpose in the background this wonderful oceanic scene, like as if it's a larger boat and it's a bigger sea, and we can do it right. We can shoot on water now. Shooting on water was very expensive until this technology was available. And we can do now Around the World in 80 Days in any kind of balloon movie very easily. We don't have to loft up in the balloon. We can just use a blue or a green screen. It doesn't matter, just as long as it's a solid color, and create our balloon floating away. When we do that, special effects makeup, we talk about special effects makeup, and that's one of the skills out there. But now with green screen and with computerized technology, special effects makeup has to compete with what we can render in a computer. As we can see here, we put the dots on the face to read into the computer program, then we create our spooky special effects makeup. Like we did with Gollum in The Hobbit. We put on our blue suit, and we got all the nodal points that will read into our computer program, and we create, of course, in our computer, the Gollum with the actor acting the role. Here with the Narnia series, we can create this medieval mass of people just by getting people set up in their green pants that will have the horses then superimposed underneath them, and so we don't need to have all these animals or anything. We can just have actors in their green suits, and then we can take our horses and we can superimpose them underneath them. We don't have to have wranglers or people know how to ride. It's a big advance. Here in District 9, we have our actor who is in his suit that will be rendered on a computer, and we have the wonderful alien characters in District 9 that made part of the movie. Here's a good example. I like this one. This is Pirates of the Caribbean, where we've got um, the gang all rigged out in their digital gear, and then, of course, we superimpose it, and we have that wonderful effect in Pirates of the Caribbean. Here we have the actors in the background. You can see what they do. They have their suits on. They do their motion, their action, and then when it's computerized, it becomes this wonderful character, the snake coming out of the face, and the eel-like beings, and he's got his sword up, but that's the one part he's acting. Everything else is superimposed on him. And when it comes to Transformers and all those movies, as we well know, it couldn't be done without any computerized um, generated imagery. Here, this is what it looks like in the movie. This motion blur creates this Transformer being against this truck in real life. But here what we do is we have everything gridded out with that green basket, and then we can then superimpose on the animated visuals, and then it looks very real with the fire. The fire is real, the truck's real, but everything else is animated. Composited together, it makes the Transformers series go on and on and on with the special effects. Here in Black Swan, she wouldn't have her feathers if we couldn't have our digital rendering against the green screen. And here in Alice in Wonderland, wonderful, we can see Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They're all rigged out on the green screen studio. The studio's an immense amount of green screen when they light it up, and of course we have Tweedledee and Tweedledum come to life in the created animated overlay of their outfits. Life of Pi, we can see on the top screen the blue screen puppet, and below becomes a tiger. Life of Pi, of course, a beautiful movie, and you can see in this studio that we've got the water, we've got the boat, but everything else is blued out and rendered into a computer program, so we get this wonderful image in the movie. Here we have people around a table, actors acting as if they're working on computer monitors. It's all a green table, and then we superimpose the computer tables in post. We can be more detailed and create all sorts of effects that way. Here we have cars coming to a break in the road, and the bridge is torn apart, and we wonder what the special effect will look like. It looks great. We put the city in the background, the green screen. It looks horrific.